Okay, kind of the last video I'm going to do today, talking about kick defense. So I could even put that up here. We're specifically going to talk about kick defense when we have a team buried in their own end. Maybe they have a line out down with inside their 22, and we're looking to counter if that they don't happen to find touch with their kick. They're probably in trouble, and so they're in a scenario where likely their 10 is going to find themselves in a position where if they win the line out, they're going to move the ball back to 10, and he's going to be kicking for touch. We're going to talk about the scenario when they miss that touch and we want to keep that ball in, which is a pretty typical scenario, but there's also this is just going to work through our general lines of kick defense as well. We're going to use this kind of basic pattern to run our kick defense anyways. Now obviously my lineout shouldn't stretch that far across the field. It should be within the 5 and the 15, but that's the way it goes. So the ball would go into the lineout, one of the jumpers would pass the ball back hopefully to the 9, and the 10 would be kicking for touch. Now first thing of note here, if they're in this scenario, an obvious kicking scenario, we want our 15 to kind of come up here. If this is the closest sideline or if there's a wind, whatever, I want the 11 with their foot just inside the white chalk of the sideline there. That way we know where the sideline is without having to look down on the ground to see that. We can focus on fielding the ball. So if the ball is kicked up and if the ball goes to the 11, 11's able to keep the ball in. Really important, what I want to see happen, first of all, before that even happens, as the ball goes back to the 10, I want to see some pressure here from the 10, 12, and 13, at least coming forward. If the 10 can get there to put pressure on that kick, it's even better, and block it even better. But these guys are originally, their first kind of line that they're going to do out of this line out is they're going to originally come forward here. And the 10 actually is going to even target, like I said, hopefully going for the block in this scenario. And so our kind of 10, 12, and 13, our center group is going to be moving forward there. Now once the ball is kicked by the 10, like I said, if the 11 can keep that ball in, what I want to see happen is I want to see the 15 come to a first receiver spot. That way, and then the 14 move to a second receiver spot. So we almost have like our own kind of new back line kind of formed in the back there. The reason for that being, if there's a 10, for an 11 or someone in pursuit, as they're catching, if there's a really high ball, this 11 may be under pressure right away, and so immediately, if there's communication from the 15, they can say, I'm here to help. As the 11 catches the ball, it's just, as soon as he catches it, he can right away move the ball to the 15 and relieve a little bit of that pressure. So that's our kind of first objective there. So we get those, so we moved into position there. Now the opposite can happen, so if they shank the ball, and in this case maybe it goes to more of a midfield position and our 15 fields the ball, same kind of scenario here. We need someone to get in first receiver position and someone to get in second receiver, and so in this case I want that 11 looping around and get kind of in first receiver position, and then the 14 move into that second receiver position. Now once the ball is fielded there, that way, like I said, if there's pressure we can quickly move the ball here. I want to talk about the line of run. We're always going to run. Opposite post is our line of attack. Now that doesn't mean that the ball is not going to get to the outside over here. What that means is we're going to run in that line, and then we're going to pass the ball this direction. I don't know why the blue's not working there. Pass the ball. We can pass the ball to the outside, but we're running opposite post is what I always say. Okay, and so our line of run is here, and I'll tell you the reason for that right now. Okay, if we're attacking in this mode, that way after we put pressure here, these center group can know where to loop back to. Okay, and so they know where our line of run is, and so they're going to be looping back. Okay, and as that attacking group comes, and obviously these guys would be under pressure somehow by maybe their center group or whatever, but as we're attacking in that line, after they put pressure on, loop back, and they know to kind of fill in on the outside here. This guy'd come up, fill in here, and then if we're running this direction here, everyone's running that direction, we can use the hands to move the ball to the outside and hopefully create an overlap and a scoring ability. Hopefully if this moves all the way down the line, maybe we score on the outside corner. Okay, important though that we don't run straight across the field, because then we're going to eliminate space. So we don't want to run in this direction. Okay, we want to always, our running line is this direction here. Okay, and so that's going to be our basic kick pattern, counter, defense. We can use that for most of the field, obviously. If we're back kind of in our red zone here, we're probably going to be kicking that ball back at them whenever we can. And even inside our own, from our own goal line to our own 10, this range in here, I'd say it's probably about 50-50 when we're kicking that ball back at them, depending on what we see from their defense. Okay, so just a quick overview of our kick defense and what we're trying to do with that.